Some time ago, I feel like I got in a habit of always distracting myself. And it was kind of nice because then it's like, obviously, you don't always have to think about what is bothering you at that time. Your fears, anxieties. You don't even have to like sit with your own thoughts. You can just, oh, there's downtime, pick up the phone. Oh, awkward part in a situation or a conversation, pick up the phone. You're sitting on transit or something, you're bored, pick up the phone. Then it just kind of created a situation where I wasn't really even thinking about how I was feeling at each given time. And I feel like for me, it's like I can be kind of an anxious person. And so it was actually really helpful. Well, so I thought helpful at that time to just always have things playing, always not think about what is bothering me at that time. But then it just kind of got to a point where it's like my brain was almost rejecting it because how it is now, it's like if I play too much music, I want to turn it off. If I like have a video or something playing, I want to turn it off. And it's just like my brain is almost just craving the silence. And I'm not completely sure why. Like, I moved and I don't have a TV. I tend not to listen to anything. And it's just like, it's hard to understand why at this point in my life, my brain is trying to crave that kind of silence, but I think I'm starting to understand that perhaps it's just craving the silence to understand more about itself. Because maybe it wants to feel those negative emotions and not just feel to feel, but feel almost to figure it out, you know? And I did this because, what's it called? About a bit more than a year ago, I left social media. Like, I still have a YouTube, obviously, but it's like I don't have Instagram and TikTok and things of that nature. And then it just kind of forced me to feel bored oftentimes and also analyze how I feel about certain things. Because I guess when you really think about it, a lot of our opinions, thoughts, stuff like that is like, is it really your own or is it something that is curated based off of the content that you consume? And I guess that can apply to anyone, even if you just take away the social media. Like if you read books, speak to others, stuff like that, your opinion can be molded based off of non social media short form content, things that you consume. But I feel like perhaps it's best at sometimes to step away from it all and do some deep thinking and understand like what you want out of this life and like what you want out of the world, because it's like everything is so influenced by what we hear from others, right? What we want to do in life, where we want to travel, what we want to do for work, the type of person that we want to be with, the type of person that we want to be. It's all just influenced based off of what we see, particularly in this day and age, on social media. And kind of going back to the main topic, I feel like silence isn't always peaceful either. It's like um kind of thinking, oh, if you sit in silence, then you'll just become this like super meditative, philosophical, type person, but that's not really the case either. It can be very uncomfortable, especially if you've gone years masking these negative thoughts. Anytime something uncomfortable comes up, boom, you go grab something to distract yourself. But it almost makes you realize the most, like, what you got to work on and what you need to analyze about yourself and what you need to understand about yourself when you don't have any distraction at all, which is definitely a lot easier said than done. But I think as I've continued to do it more, I'm able to sit better and explain my thoughts better. I'm still not good at explaining my thoughts very well, but it's definitely gotten better. And just allowing myself to experience negative emotions in full without always trying to distract myself. Not to like marinate in it, kind of, but to be like, I'm feeling this way, but why? You know? And it kind of helps you understand what you want more. And yeah, I think we need to get better at processing rather than just masking how we feel, you know. And I think throughout this experience, I've really began to understand like what actually makes me happy. And what makes me happy is like spending time with others, reading, being deep in thought, meditating, thinking about how I want my future to be, surrounded by people that I care about, and things that drain me, constant sound, constant distraction, and thinking of what I care about. I think through the silence, you understand more about yourself, and now I have a much better idea of what I want my future to look like and why I went ahead with trying to be more stable and trying to build a life that I can feel comfortable in. Yeah. And, you know, I don't have all the answers, but I guess it works good for me. Um, and just trying not to distract myself from my own life. If I feel sad that day, it's okay. If I feel anxious that day, it's okay. If I don't feel all the way there that day, it's okay. But just being able to sit with that instead of, and sit with that, but also analyze it and see if there's anything I can do at that moment to alleviate whatever is bothering me at that time instead of just, being like, oh, I don't feel good. So I'm gonna distract myself with something. And so starting to feel everything basically just allows you to um, understand more. And I feel like I have a much clearer idea of what I want my life to look like. I'm kind of boring. I have like grandma hobbies, and I used to feel bad about that. But then I'm like, I like my grandma hobbies. I like sitting in the house, cooking, cleaning, making art, playing guitar, reading, taking care of people, doing things for others. Just because that's not what is that popular right now doesn't mean anything. You don't have to follow the ways of the world. You know, follow what fills your heart. So, That's all I have to say, but I'll catch you guys a different time.